Okay, gang, it's Wellness Wednesday in the 55 plus family community. And you know, this whole week we are featuring Summit, things about Summit, but we're also featuring those that were there, other topics connected to them. And I cannot tell you how excited I am about today. And I'm going to share a quick screen share with you before I hand him over the mic. This is the one, the only, not Josh Nair. And Josh, they title you DDPY Master Trainer, but it's such an understated word because you are kind of like everywhere within our company. And so I did put here to the right because you guys, I've been talking to all of you about thinking about becoming one of the trainers for the classes or a fast track coach, right? I've been talking to you guys about this. Well, Josh and Hayden are the two on the right here. Josh and Hayden are the two that manage all of us. I'm telling you what is incredible. Not only do they teach us what we need to know, we go through the interview process, then we go through a lengthy time period that we meet their qualifications for those. And they're the ones that keep us pure to the vision that DDPY has for anybody that's carrying their name at any class anywhere. So all the instructors, all the coaches have to pass Josh's door as if that wasn't enough for him to do. And then of course he's doing many things. By the way, Josh, the thing that I care the most about you, I am in awe at what a pure, when I think of you, I think of pure DDPY. You are the example to us all. You keep the brand always. I had to show these pictures. Hopefully you don't mind, but he turned 55, so he's officially one of us. But by living by example, he's out there instructing even on the beach. You could maybe tell about that too, Josh. But when you look at the before and after, he's walked a journey like us. On the top left side, that's where he was before he started his health journey on a whole nother level, right? But I'm pretty sure you can tell on the right and the two below, not just flexibility, mobility, and all of that, but Josh, I so want them to understand your thought process. You know, I love to sit at your feet and study from you so I can be a better coach. I coached men and women in business for 45 years, complete different thing coaching over into the DDPY world, right? And so I have needed to rely on you, and you're everybody, honestly, within our family has seen you before, I'm guessing, but I want to make sure they understand the whole depth of who you are and how your thought process is, because it is many things. They've seen you with the butterbean thing, coaching him. You know, you're kind of in a lot of different places. But specifically, you and I talked about one thing that I really felt was so needed in here, and that is that people are always looking at the power cuff thing. And when you're talking 55 and up, many of them were already suffering with a mobility issue, right? Injured shoulder, injured back, injured knees. And so they're trying to figure out where the power cuff program fits in with everything else, their obesity, all of that. So one thing specifically, Josh, can you head that way and just begin? Hopefully they're taking notes when you're talking, because I do.
You are the nicest person ever. Thank you, Pam.
True.
So as any brand evolves, I think you will see change. When DDP Yoga originally started, you know, we had it Ain't Your Mama's Yoga. Right now, DDPY Fitness. And, you know, I think as we have evolved as a brand, there are also things that have come through that evolution. Power cuffs, you know, DDPY PT, physical therapy, just a couple of examples. And so the cuffs just kind of take what it is that we do to the next level. Originally, the cuffs were, and Tom Wallen is a wealth of information on this topic, and I'll just try to be brief for my simple brain. So This started by a Japanese doctor many years ago to treat injury. And so we use them today to help build strength, but they also can help you recover from injury. And that's really how they started. And so I think it's a matter, the question comes to me often. So I think it's appropriate that we talk about it. One of the questions that folks have for me is that, where do the cuffs fit in? It's a great question. So first of all, they work. They are amazing for recovery from traumatic injury, to rehab a bicep tear, to rehab it is for that purpose amazing. And for strength building, exhibit A is Diamond Dallas Page, right? But I think first and foremost, no matter what your age, you've got to consider your body type and what kind of body composition you're looking for. So this is akin to a hairdresser or a barber, right? Yeah. And how many times does a guy or a woman take a picture of the haircut that they want, and they take it to the barber or the hairdresser, and they say, right, we're all on the 55 call. I know we're all old enough to remember the whole Jennifer Aniston thing with Friends. And I spent a minute in the hair business, so forgive me for this comparison, but
hey, I did too.
A woman brings a picture of Jennifer Aniston's hair, and there is no way in the world that the hairdresser is going to be able to make that happen. Conversely, guy takes the same thing to a barber can't make it happen. Right, it could be head shape, it could be hair type, right? People don't think about that stuff. Exactly. And so along those same lines, we have to be realistic about our own physiology. If you're done growing, this is probably the height that you're going to be forever, right? Unless we get little, and DDP yoga is about, right, we're going to try to push the hands of time back. And so when I coach folks, I often talk to them, if they don't know about body composition, or simply put, like, what can I look like? I don't know what I can look like.
Yes.
Right? I am tall. Dallas and I are basically the same height. So when from personal experience, I can tell you, like, when I was thinking about, okay, as I was losing weight, what's the end goal as I got closer to, like, having the body I always wanted, feeling better, joints feel better, the whole nine. And so cosmetically, superficially, I wondered what that looked like. And I had a prime example, Dallas, right? Because we're built different. Our muscles are longer. And so much more, right? Like, so if someone has shorter muscles, they're going to be maybe a little bit bulkier. But you don't even know what kind of musculature you have, because we've covered that, right, over time. And so, right, like at some point, we got to uncover that to see what we got. Because believe me, everybody has muscle. Everybody here, you all have muscle. You do, right? And so when we're trying to put on muscle, the one, the only Steve Yu, and I have got to.
Oh, you have to take it from Steve.
Oh, we have things. No, I don't.
I know. Pretty important. Okay, I'll hold on, because I know he'll be back. And I should tell you, so there, we have so many that will actually go into next week as well. But as you're catching on, first part of every one of these interviews, you guys, we are talking about topics. Second part, if you're interested in knowing about Summit, the second part of every interview, we'll be talking about Summit. So if you have no desire to hear about Summit, that's okay, because every interview I'm doing this week we are first talking about the topic related to that person. And I'm telling you what, Josh did need to leap off because he and Steve are about to take off on a trip, actually, a very important trip of some stuff they're going to accomplish. And, you know, I think you guys all are aware of Change or Die series that has been released and coming, more coming. They're still working on things as it relates to that, you guys. So there's so many things coming down. I try to just stay in the know with you guys so that the 55 plus family knows what's going on. So anywho, and it looks like Josh is entering back in. So that's fast. He did a fast call. I kept you
Hi,
going.
sorry.
I kept you going. So I just kept talking right through you, except for now you're sideways. But I
Wait,
shared more.
we're gonna fix that.
I talked a little bit about
There we go.
change or die a little bit with him. I gotta
Hi,
get
sorry about that. That was Steve.
that would be
So
important. That would be
yeah,
important.
yeah.
Yeah.
So body composition. I forget where I stopped, but I think that's really the first thing to try to understand. What, who and what can I model myself after physically, and then have a picture in your head and visualize that, and then work to get there. And to me, um, because I mentioned earlier, like everybody has muscle. We don't see it, right, per se, in most, and not most, in folks, because we've got
And I do need to
go
say
ahead.
too, what I see is a tremendous amount of comparison happening where people will actually private message me and say, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stay any longer in the 55 plus because it looks like everybody's at a much higher level than I am of working.
Hmm.
Others that it looks like, you know, everybody's not. So that comparison thing, you're about to hit that very topic. It's dangerous for us
Very,
to do that. So
very,
I,
very, very.
yeah, I appreciate that you're heading to how would they know what is the right fit for them? So
Mm.
they're not looking left to right at other people's results.
Right. So that's hugely critical, right? As Dallas has often said, leave your ego at the door. Um, and that does apply, I think, to this situation, right? You're not alone if you don't have the body that you wanted.
Right.
So understand that there are others, be it maybe not the same challenges. There are different challenges out there. People who can't be flexible yet, right? People who don't think they're strong yet. People who aren't lean yet. Right? There are a host of issues, and everybody's got them.
Oh yeah, had strokes. We have
And
people
so,
that have had strokes, all
right,
kinds of situations.
all
And
kinds of stuff. So we have to be very careful, because even if that person is the same age, the same height, the weight that you want, you don't know what their journey has been. And so we have to personalize it for sure. You can have something to visualize, but it's about you. And this journey takes time, right? Mine, that photo that you showed earlier, that was literally the first day that we had worked out. It was 70 pounds ago, and I've been doing this for a minute, right? The weight loss, and then figuring out I had lost 50 of it, and then like yo-yoed 220 to 210, 220 to 210. And I know that sounds like a lot, but I'm over 6'4", right? And just to give you like Dallas today is about 225 to 230. You got a lot of muscle on it, a lot more than I do, right? So I'm about 205. But I face too, what kind of physique do I want
yes,
as well, right? And so once I was on the road of I'm gonna lose the weight first and then build back up, that was really beneficial, and that's where power cuts were really, really, really helpful. Um, and so, I think they're for everyone for sure. But we have to get back to what our original goals are. And if you fall in the camp that is, I want to lose weight and build muscle, well, awesome, cool. But this is for you. You've got to choose which one is more float your boat more, right? Because if weight loss floats your boat more and you're trying to lift weights, it's very simple, right? You got to eat more to gain muscle. You have to, I'm not going to get into the micro, macro, the whole thing. Just fundamentally, right? You've got to be in a calorie surplus to build muscle, and you've got to be in a calorie deficit to lose fat. When you are trying to do both, your body, I'm not saying that growth doesn't come. It comes, but it just depends on how quickly you want to do this. Most clients that I talk to on a daily, and most people that I interact with, want to do the weight loss thing really, 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 really fast. Sorry to throw 10 in there, but right, there is no fast.
No.
If you have surgery and want it to be fast, it's not fast, because the time after surgery for you is, right, you've got to recover. And so I think it's healthy to lift, and if you want to lift heavy, go lift heavy if you can, if you've been in a gym before and you know what you're doing. If not, as we age, that's why power cuffs are so amazing, because they bridge the gap. You're not supposed to lift heavy with them. In fact, when we first started doing DDP yoga when we first started with power cuffs and the original sort of the original models that we had, we weren't lifting. We were just doing DDPY with them on, right? And we were doing dynamic resistance, right? And it was slow dynamic resistance, and we all felt better. I think it's important that if you can swing it, you don't just buy the arm cuffs. That science is that your entire body benefits when you have all four in working order, right? So even if it is, the patient or the person rather has a torn bicep tendon, conventional just thinking, I would think, without knowing this information, I would think like, okay, so he should wear a power cuff there, or she. Well, the reality is that we want that blood flow around the entire body. And so having all four limbs occluded, which are tightened rather, benefits the injury that you have, right? And there's science on this stuff. So, it's a really, really incredibly long-winded answer about power cuffs. So seniors, you have a choice to make. Number one is what is your, we talk about goals all the time, SmackDown, but when it comes to your own, what are you going to model yourself after, your body composition? How does that work? And then how do you get there? So if you have struggled and you feel like you lost, and now you plateaued, right? I get it, because you're asking your body to do two different things, right? It's very difficult to do. And I'm not suggesting that is not doable, because it absolutely is. And if you're content doing that, man, ultimately you do what works for you. I try to err on the side of science and stuff that I've learned, right? So I sit at the feet too and try to figure that whole thing out as well, right? So,
but it's like what, I've shared with you, when I have clients that say, I want to lose 90 pounds, Pam, that I'm typically shifting almost everything I saw in their app that they were doing. I'm having to shift and have them focus on a little bit different things, like the fat burning zone matters. If that was really, is the 90 pounds the most important? And I love your process. You can do both, sure, but if you're coming at me and saying I need to lose 90 pounds, that's a different set of answers you give that person, right? If that's their absolute got to do by my anniversary or whatever time they get frame they give.
Yeah, sure. Nutrition. If you think that just doing DDP, like I'll do 2 workouts every day for 7 days, you're going to be stronger and you're going to make gains for sure.
Yes.
But you can't out-train a bad diet.
Yep.
Right. That's an old,
Yep.
kind of tried and true statement. And the way I believe that, our meal programs are structured, and philosophically the way we approach nutrition, you shouldn't hungry, right? I don't want to spoil the ending to the show that we did. You know, hope everybody's going to see it soon, but like, yeah, you're going to see tremendous amounts of weight loss, and they weren't hungry. We're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because they ate, because when you don't eat, cloud your brain. If anybody is, you know, messing with intermittent fasting or fasting, I've seen and I've heard of water fasts and all the things. Again, if it works for you, cool. I find it difficult to have mental clarity when even like intermittent. I use intermittent fasting as a tool now. Looking back on my journey, and I did it during my journey, I was not my best person during that time, and part of it was because I didn't have abundance to a point so that my brain could function.
Right.
And when you rob your brain, you're going to be, maybe you're a little nappy. You want to take a little sleepy night. You want to take a nap, right? You could be irritable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can, you know, and all the things that I think we can draw immediate parallels to.
Right.
When I have helped people that have been, you know, doesn't matter how much overweight, that's irrelevant. When you make the decision to either the build or the strip or the cut, not cut, we're going to work on weight loss, and you stick with the nutrition pillar, amazing things happen. And yeah, you got to move your body. And yeah, it doesn't happen overnight, but that's why we do the testimonials, because people can see it. It's real. And, you know, hopefully we give you means to be able to sustain that journey and that progress into the future, right? Until we can't anymore.
Yeah.
But you always have nutrition. Right?
So if someone says that they want to lose a fair amount of weight, let's say it is a 90-pound person, is that the person that you would advise to also be lifting lots of weights? Or is that really where they have to determine, I want to lose 90 pounds and I'm not going to become real active at the gym? Would you say that to the, and I say this because lots of people want to lose the weight, but they seem to be floundering. You already admitted nutrition is.
Yeah, so I would say this: for 30 days, don't lift the weights, wear the power cups for DDPY workouts, double your DDPY workouts during the week. Don't, like, so folks say, when I ask the question, okay, what's your gym DDP yoga split that are doing this? And it's usually 3 days and 3 days, and they're trying to go hard for 6.
Yeah.
What do you have to lose? And I'm not saying forever. But if this person wants to lose the 90 pounds without asking any questions about them, which I would do,
exactly.
Gun to my head, what would I tell them without knowing anything? I don't want to see you look at or smell weights for 30 days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you on, we're gonna increase the number of DDPY workouts that we do. And my prescription is, I'll just share it with you guys.
Yeah, please do.
It's free. So for those that are able enough to be able to do Energy 2.0, or if you've never done Energy 2.0, do it twice a day, every day for 7 days.
Now,
You're crazy. Why would you say that?
Oh, I love it. I love
so
it.
It becomes a habit. And what you can do on the 5th day against what you could do on your first day is, and can be, really inspiring to yourself.
Yes.
Right. So I think, and yes, I say 7 days.
Yep.
Because the workout's not that, it will be taxing on those. And it doesn't matter if you tap out, if you hit pause, if you sit on the mat and cry, don't care. Just roll the mat out and play it. Yeah. Right? Maybe if you don't do the workout for those 30 days and you just played it and cried on your mat, that may be a bigger issue, but eventually I want you to do it. Because here's the thing, it's a 23, 24-minute workout. Everybody's got that time. And in our community, I've got a lot of folks with some additional time on their hands, right? And so if, to me, when I want to get people clicking, because if you're doing this once a week, twice a week, it's a hobby.
Yep.
3 days a week, you start feeling better. Right? 4 to 5 days a week, you start changing your life. 6 to 7 days a week, you own your life. And not for 1 week. Right? And not just nutrition. Yeah. Right? But, you know, make the workouts your own and go at it at your own pace and your own. But this is my prescription to, it would be to someone we're just getting started and they want to, I believe in total immersion learning.
Yeah.
Like if I was dropped in the middle of China, I don't know Mandarin, I don't know any other kind of language. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I could get it together to be able to do all the things and eat, sleep, not be homeless, and immerse myself in the culture so that I could figure out those things. And so when I get someone started with DDPY, that's what I want to do. Right? Yeah. They have homework. You got to watch videos. You got to do the things that a coach should do.
Oh right? Yeah.
And so that's part of it.
Yeah. Some of them do just enough to get frustrated and not enough to get breakthrough. And so I love your prescription because that you're saying, hey, do you really want the breakthrough? Because that's going to be a different set of advice, right? So I think it's powerful that you laid out. You can't.
If you want it, and you never know when a breakthrough is going to happen.
Right, right. But if you treat it like a hobby, it's going to be pretty hard to get the results of that.
That's why I insist on doing more than 2 classes a week locally for the people that, have my little crew of locals that I'm not coaching them, but they come to my classes and they have a good time. But I added a third night because there's a crew that can't get there for the morning workouts, and the morning workouts, it's so hot here in Florida that there's a little pause on those. We're going to hiatus those until September, but for the evening workouts, I think, that addresses folks that, that are coming home from work and they want to end the day with a little bit of, it's a different workout too, but I added a third night for that statement. Right? You do it once or twice a week. And if I'm only teaching once or twice a week publicly, well, then how else would they, if they don't have the app, and I haven't beaten that into their head, which I have some stubborn folks that are like, well, we have you. Like, okay, but if you didn't, well, we would, whatever. So, in your communities, if you do not know, if you've got an instructor in your community, you can go to, the certification page. Well, you can start with ddpyoga.com, find an instructor.
Yeah.
We'll put your zip code in.
I'll put the link here again.
Yeah, put the link. Pam will put the link up so that you guys can find us. And then, if you can't find one, we can try to link you up with somebody who's, a little bit longer of a driving distance. But, we have a lot of folks teaching a lot of different places. So, again, that 3 days a week is the really critical thing. And I think if you're on a plateau and you're thinking 3-4 days a week, I mean, what's the harm in doing more than that? Right? What do you got to lose?
Yes, yeah.
Days are going to come anyway. What you do with them is up to you. So, right? Like you don't have to be crazy like me. And I go most weeks 7 days. Yeah. But then I also give my body 3-4 days every 4 or 5 weeks to recover. Or if I tweak something and I need a day off, I take a day off from the physicality.
Right. And they should know too, you're not without some discomfort, right? You have at least a knee issue that occasionally rears itself up, correct?
Yeah. So left knee, right shoulder, right ankle, broke both my ankles twice. I've had surgery on my right knee for ligament damage and ACL, MCL injury, and I never had surgery on my left knee, which was an MCL injury. And so my left knee is a little wonky. And in my right ankle, I have a bone chip that actually floats. And it's fun because 99% of the time I don't know it's there until I do, and it hurts. So but addressing those joints doesn't matter how much DDP yoga I did, if I was still eating the way I was eating, those joints are not going to feel better. So when you lose weight, your joints are going to feel better.
Yeah.
You lose weight, you're going to feel stronger
Right.
without lifting weights. And then when you lift weights, and it's a whole other conversation I'm happy to have with folks, but I hope that helps demystify
Oh, I really,
power cuffs a little bit. Tom Wallen can give you, Dr. Tom can give you all the science and all the things, but because he's amazing and brilliant, and I love what he does with cuffs, and I support him 100%. But if you've wondered like where do they stand, do them. Yeah, I've already said what I was going to say.
okay,
So
yeah. And I have some really that can't get themselves into the fat burning zone very easily for many reasons. And by using the power cuffs, they're able to get into the green fat burning zone during the regular workouts. So they have a place there, even in that weight loss journey. Because if
of
someone
course,
gets to the fat burning zone, those power cuffs help them get up to that, right? So
for sure.
I know you have a life and things to do, but would you mind before you leave? I would love your perspective. Obviously, you aren't an attendee at Summit. You are, in fact, the leader at Summit. So
No,
yes, you are. You're in that top leadership core. So you
I
teach,
don't see myself that way, but thank you. That's very
yeah.
sweet.
But so, what would you say to the people that are saying, what would I have to do maybe to set a goal to be at
Ah,
year's summit? What would you say that looks like for them?
right. So I'll preface everything by saying I don't have anything to do with the process. I don't, there's no lobbying you can do with me. They literally don't ask me what I think about this,
Yeah,
because we have plenty of smart people that
do
can
that.
figure that stuff out. So I, I think that there's one word that is often left out of this conversation when we talk about Summit. It is
Yes.
the DDP Yoga, whatever, insert your favorite year, Transformation Summit. And so, to the folks that have transformed themselves, if we don't know about you, we need to know. But if you don't let us know,
Yeah.
then we won't know. Through the Positively Unstoppable Challenge, certainly we see those transformations. The challenge really acts, I think, in many ways as a feeder for transformations, period. And then so those invitations are not like, to friends or whatever. They are to the transformations that, we can document when everybody gets in one room. We can have photo shoots with people. We can have them tell their stories, right?
Yeah.
And secondarily, it's also for select instructors. And now we've added coaches to that mix. And so if you've not it's not everyone is going to be a transformation. Not everyone wants to coach, and not everyone wants to become an instructor. So there's, I think, where a little bit of the confusion. Set goals all day long, participate in the challenge, right? Let us know that you're out there. As instructors, what do you do, right? Teach a class, use your certification, and if you need help, reach out to me and Hayden. We can help. But if you're doing stuff and we don't know about it, well, then you're yelling in a vacuum. Let us know. There's a big, huge community, right? And I know I'm only talking to a smaller segment, but I would say that to the community at large, the big community as well. So, it's an opportunity to have sort of this blend of unique folk that are going through the same thing, right? When you're on this transformation journey. I can tell you that I met a lot. This year it seemed like there were so many first timers,
Yes.
that I got to hang out with and meet face to face for the first time. Got to teach a little bit, and so those are, and again, not that I have anything to do with that, but those are sort of, I think my T-shirt says the 2024 Transformation Summit. And so that's what it is. And
Yep.
so being invited is, obviously folks are, it's a bucket list kind of thing, and that's cool. But if you're not on a journey and want to get on the journey, reach out to Pam, and she can guide you in the right way, as she is a champ herself. But so, but yeah, I mean, that's how Pammy got invited to do stuff, was because of her journey and being involved in the challenge, right? And so it doesn't necessarily. I'll close with this. It doesn't always have to be weight loss either.
Right. Right.
We have. It can be flexible. It can be flexibility. God, it's a hard word for me to say this way. It can be flexibility. It can be strength building. It can be, all the things, right? So, yeah. If you want more information, talk to Pam, and then Pam will probably call me. But yeah, or Steve. She'll probably call one of us.
I'm so thrilled because you actually did give me permission to call you different times. So I feel like I've got like president's phone number. The fact that you actually say I can call you.
Stop it.
No,
I don't see myself that way, Pam. And
yeah, I know
it's
you
very
don't see
nice.
yourself that way, but thank you so much, A, for being a part of the 55 plus community, but even more for me, Josh, it is because when I think of you, Josh, I think pure DDPY. I don't ever have to wonder if you're going to put out something confusing or anything, because confusion can actually stop people, right? And you
Yeah,
also,
I hope I was clear today.
oh yeah, you give such clarity to the full journey, and to all of us coaches and instructors. I love how you
Thank you.
put our feet to the fire sometimes on our bi-monthly meetings, because you do care. You want to make sure, if we're attached to your name of DDPY, that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
I
So,
think more so it's for the people.
yes,
It's not because you're attached to the brand or attached to DP Yoga specifically, or Dallas or Steve, or and Paige or anybody. Because it as a coach and as an instructor, it is about one thing and one thing only, and that's the person sitting across from you.
yeah,
And if it's about anything other than that, that's not why I'm in it, right? I'm in it for the people.
exactly.
So that's the ethos that I sort of follow on a daily. So I appreciate all your kind words. You're the nicest
So
person ever. And
thank you
thank
for
you.
all you do for us. And I
Look,
look forward. I know there's more things you're working on. That's even probably the call from Steve. So
yeah, I got to go and return that call.
can tell us more things. Make sure, let me know, because I want to
will.
make sure our family here know. So
I will.
love you tons, Josh. Thank you for all you
Thank you, dear. Love you.
love you.
See you guys.
Bang. Oh yeah.